The Arizona Cardinals are significantly better on the offensive end this season, with Jacoby Brissett being the starting quarterback compared to Kyler Murray this season and last season as well. And Jacoby Brissett should be the starting quarterback with the Arizona Cardinals until further notice. In 5 games this season, Kyler Murray has 962 passing yards, 6 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 1 rushing touchdown. But in the last 3 games, with Jacoby being the starting quarterback, he has 6 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, 860 passing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown as well. And there's a clear difference in both of the quarterbacks here. Kyler Murray is more athletic. He has more explosive plays to his game. He can move around with his legs. His legs are a gift, but they're also a curse. Whenever he deals with pressure, he moves outside the pocket immediately, and he will rush himself into pressure on the opposite side. He doesn't step up inside the pocket. He doesn't make the tough throws on a consistent basis. Jacoby comes in. We saw this with the New England Patriots, and we're seeing it again with the Cardinals. He will step up into pressure. He'll take those tough hits. He's not going to take the dumb sacks like Kyler Murray. And his anticipation right now is better than Kyler Murray. And he's a quick processor. As soon as he sees the blitz, he gets the football out. Kyler Murray, he holds onto the football for a very long time. Jacoby Brissett, he will get Marvin Harrison Jr. involved in the same with Trey McBride. We've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. have some good moments with Kyler Murray, but it wasn't as consistent. With Jacoby, it's more consistent. When they need a big play, here comes Marvin Harrison Jr. in the short yardage situations. Here comes Marvin Harrison Jr. on a deep route, deep down the field. And the play calling is still not good with Drew. But Jacoby fits this system better than Kyler Murray. He's a prototypical quarterback. He's 6'4", 235 pounds. Kyler is a weird quarterback. He's undersized. So you have to create passing lanes for him up front. You don't have to do the same thing with Jacoby. And Jacoby is going to do what the coach wants him to do. If the primary read is Marvin Harrison Jr., he'll get it to him as soon as possible. If he's in double coverage, he'll go to Trey McBride. If Trey McBride is not wide open, he'll go to Michael Wilson. That's the processing is faster. With Kyler Murray, he may see Marvin Harrison Jr. He may not pull the football as quickly. And it's a tight window in the NFL. So when Kyler Murray does pull the trigger, it's too late. It goes for a pass deflection. Or him and Marvin Harrison Jr., they're not on the same page. Now, Trey McBride is one of the best receiving tight ends in the NFL. You could put anyone out there at the quarterback position. He's going to have natural chemistry with them. He's just a phenomenal player. But you're seeing the glimpses with Marvin Harrison Jr. with an actual pocket passer and Jacoby Brissett. And the offensive line is still an issue. He got sacked 5 times against the Dallas Cowboys in tonight's game, but he was able to move around and make plays with his legs. He got sacked 6 times against the Green Bay Packers. And I'm talking about Jacoby here. Even though they lost against the Indianapolis Colts 31-27, the offense still looked better, and they were more consistent with Jacoby. He was 27-44, 320 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. Against the Green Bay Packers, they lost this game 27-23. He was 25-36, 279 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And against the Dallas Cowboys, and I get it, it's the Dallas Cowboys. They have one of the worst defenses in football. Jacoby Brissett, 261 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, got sacked 5 times, and he had a rushing touchdown in this game. He's not a superstar quarterback, far from it. But he's solid and he's consistent. He's going to keep you on schedule. He can also keep you ahead of schedule. And that's what he did against the Cowboys. He's not going to put the football in harm's way. And for the first half of last season, Kyler Murray was a top 10 quarterback. But those last 6 games, he did not look good against pressure. He did not look good against the blitz. And there's still talent here with Kyler Murray. But I believe that the Arizona Cardinals, they need to change the scenery. And the same with Kyler. They need to part ways here. This is a player that you selected with the first overall pick. He has been very underwhelming in his career. They're not going to trade him at the trade deadline. There are reports coming out of the Arizona Cardinals front office that they want to put him back on the field when he's fully healthy from this foot injury they suffered against the Tennessee Titans. I think that's a bad decision. Let Jacoby Brissett, let him go out there and let him finish out the games. If he's still playing well, let him go out there and let him play. I know that Kyler is a former first overall pick. He's making a lot of money right now on that contract, but this general manager did not select him. And the same with this head coach and Jonathan Gannon. When they came here, Kyler Murray was already here. This was Cliff Kingsbury's guy. Cliff Kingsbury was a huge fan of Kyler Murray. And Kyler is not a scrub. He's not a terrible quarterback, but he hasn't progressed with the Cardinals. No one can come on here and tell me that Kyler Murray has improved every single year in his career. I believe that he has hit his ceiling with the Arizona Cardinals. If you trade him elsewhere, he may be better. The one thing with Kyler Murray, he's a fun player to watch because he can move around. He can make a lot of plays with his legs inside and outside the pocket. But if you put your hands up at the line of scrimmage, you cut off some of those passing lanes, it's going to be a struggle to throw the football deep down the middle of the field. And we have seen this now early on with Kyler Murray, and they've tried to build a team around him. You trade the first round pick for Hollywood Brown a few years ago. You bring in DeAndre Hopkins. Even though the play calling and the head coach and Cliff Kingsbury, he was not ready for that spot. The play calling was terrible, but they still tried. They tried to bring in offensive lineman for Kyler Murray. It just didn't work out. He has yet to win a playoff game this season, and it's not all on Kyler Murray. The Arizona Cardinals have made a lot of questionable decisions, but when you select a player with the first overall pick, you're thinking of a Joe Burrow type of impact, a Baker Mayfield type of impact, with just quarterbacks in the first round in general. And we've seen quarterbacks move around in the NFL like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, and they find success elsewhere. It's not me saying that Kyler Murray is a terrible quarterback. Move on from him. He's horrible. But he just hasn't lived up to the hype with the Arizona Cardinals. And in this system with Coach Drew, I do not believe that he's a very good offensive coordinator. He is very conservative. And tonight's game against the Dallas Cowboys, the defense dominated. And when they got up to a 2-possession lead, they just started to run the football, take routes underneath. They're very conservative in their play calling. That's why they've lost 5 games by 1 score this season. I still have a lot of questions about Jonathan Gannon as a head coach because he is a defensive head coach. He loves to depend on his defense every single week, and that's fine. But you have to be aggressive on the offensive end. The way that they play offense, they play not to lose instead of playing to win. Even though they went for it on 4th down late in this game, they weren't doing that with Kyler Murray. They weren't doing that against the Green Bay Packers and the same against the Indianapolis Colts. They'll take those field goals, and they'll depend on their defense. But the way that Walter Nolan played in tonight's matchup, that is what you look for in a guy that you selected in the first round in this year's draft class. I think that he has the potential to be one of the best defensive tackles in football. He is phenomenal. But he's been dealing with injuries this season. Josh Sweat, very good pass rusher. This has been the Achilles heel with the Cardinals for quite some time. He was a star in tonight's game, and he's had some great moments this season. The last time they had a true pass rusher that could just go out there and win those one-on-one opportunities, it was J.J. Watt in his last season. But Josh Sweat, he has those ties with Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon was a former defensive play caller with the Eagles. Now he's a head coach with the Cardinals. That signing is working out right now at the moment. Calais Campbell, he could play till he's 45 at this point. Every single year, he continues to get better. Had a great game against the Carolina Panthers, was a monster tonight, can get to the passer, can stop the run, can create turnovers. Calais Campbell is aging like fine wine on the field. You have Darius Robinson, who's a young player. You have high hopes for him long term. We'll see if he can actually live up to that potential. On the back end of this defense, Budda Baker is still a solid safety to have. He's a very underrated player. Will Johnson is a very good cornerback. Had that great game against the New Orleans Saints early in the year. Has dealt with injuries this season. But when he's been fully healthy, he looks like a true number 1 cornerback in terms of creating turnovers and pressing up wide receivers on the line of scrimmage. The talent isn't bad here with the Cardinals. It's the coaching. I don't think that Jonathan Gannon is a terrible head coach, just too conservative. I think that Drew, as an offensive coordinator, I think that he is terrible. Even though he has had a good outing in the last 2 games, I have to give him credit for that. But it's very frustrating to see the Arizona Cardinals be in a lot of games this season and they lose by 1 score. And against the Tennessee Titans, they should have won that game. And I know it shoulda, coulda, woulda. But they should have won that game. Amari had that fumble. Goes for the long touchdown, drops at the 1-yard line. It goes for a touchback. But that loss is not all on Amari. And Amari bounced back in a huge way against the Dallas Cowboys tonight. But you had so many moments against the Tennessee Titans, it was a circus game. Cam Ward throws an interception. The defensive back could not come down with the football. It bounces back into the red zone. Tyler Lockett comes out of nowhere with the Tennessee Titans. He falls on top of it. It goes for a touchdown. You just had bad luck in that game, and they could not bounce back from adversity. And Kyler Murray did miss a lot of throws. This was the case last year against the Buffalo Bills. Marvin Harrison Jr. is wide open deep down the field for a touchdown. If he sees Marvin Harrison Jr., he gets him the football. They win that game. But Kyler just didn't see him because he cannot scan the entire field. Jacoby Brissett, he can. He will take those shots. And the running back situation is very interesting here. With James Conner being out with that brutal leg injury they suffered against the 49ers over a month ago. You have Amari. You have Bam Knight right now. We'll see what the status is with Trey Benson long term. But this offensive line, they still need to be better. Paris Johnson Jr., phenomenal left tackle. Outside of him, you have a lot of question marks on this offensive line. But this offseason, they have to look into that contract with Kyler Murray. There's going to be a lot of teams potentially calling about Kyler Murray, and if I'm the Arizona Cardinals, I'm willing to listen. You're not going to get a first-round pick for Kyler Murray, but you can get something for him. And if they put him back into the starting lineup next week, that would be a huge mistake with this coaching staff. And you still have life in this division. You're 3-5 on the season. And you can make life hell in this division for everyone else. You already lost to the San Francisco 49ers, 15-16. Another one-score game, walk-off field goal. Mac Jones came in. He defeated you. Kyler Murray had a bad moment late in that game. It was a bad drop by Michael Wilson. Then you lost to the Seattle Seahawks. Got dominated in the first half. In the second half, you played better. But watching the offense with Kyler Murray, it's like pulling teeth to get him to connect with Marvin Harrison Jr. and to get him to connect with the other wide receivers on this roster. With Jacoby Brissett, it's more natural. And that is so weird because Jacoby Brissett, he's not taking first-team reps and practice. That is all towards Kyler Murray. Jacoby comes in, the savvy veteran, gets the football where it needs to be, feeds Trey McBride, works off of Michael Wilson, and it's a good thing. So right now you have that momentum with Jacoby. Even though you've only won one game and you are currently on a 5-game losing streak, that's fine. Stay with Jacoby and see what you have with him. And if the wheels fall off, you go back to Kyler Murray. And if Kyler Murray feels some type of way, he's still getting paid. It's the National Football League at the end of the day. Because if he showed you that first overall potential, his job would have never been in doubt. If he would have went out there and if he would have had 12 passing touchdowns to 2 interceptions before he went down with a foot injury, hey, Kyler Murray, he's the guy. As soon as he comes back on the field, we know that we have our franchise quarterback. You don't have a franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. And franchise quarterbacks, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes, a healthy Joe Burrow, a healthy Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield at the moment, those are game changers. Those are franchise changers. Kyler Murray hasn't been that with the Cardinals, and I wish that he would be. But I don't see it happening. And if he had a different offensive play caller, maybe things would look better that could cater to his strengths. But unfortunately for him, in this system with Drew, 5-step drop back, be a pocket passer. You're not going to see them slide the offensive line to the right and work off of play action bootlegs and get you going into some college situations and work you out a shotgun like how Cliff Kingsbury did. It's a bunch of under center plays here. And that may be why Kyler Murray has struggled with Drew Pezzing calling plays. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, Jacoby Brissett is a better starting quarterback at the moment. But let me know in the comment section below who should be the starting quarterback with the Arizona Cardinals for the rest of the season. Should it be Jacoby Brissett or Kyler Murray? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.